Should we do another month ahead? I think we're going to do another month ahead. So if you are already did one yesterday and it was the energy of Gemini and Pisces. So if those are in your big three, then yesterday might have been your reading. But if you're not a Gemini or Pisces, let's see who you guys are so we can tap into the right energy for your May month ahead. Okay. So eighth house, you could have an eighth house. You would have really prominent eighth house placements, but I heard stellium right away when it came out, and third quarter moon. You would either be born on the third quarter moon, or this reading will be focused around the third quarter moon. I know we just had a full moon, so that would have been 3 weeks ago. I'm going to tap into all of April to see what was going on with you guys. I want one more, see if we can get a specific sign. Oh, another waning moon. They're not giving me a specific sign. Another moon card. Triple moon. It's not technically the triple moon, but new moon, waning gibbous, third quarter moon. Those would be important moon signs for the right collective if this is really a reading. I want to see an actual sign though. Better not be that fourth moon card. Okay. 11th house. So 11th and 8th house would be important to you. 5th house. 9th house. That's crazy. That not a single sign. I guess it's for a reason. But anyways, 11th house or 8th house stellium. Look at your chart. You would probably already know that you have those if this reading is finding you. And new moon, waning gibbous moon, and third quarter moon would be important for the right collective. Whether that be events we're about to tap into, or you would definitely be born on one of those. Just saying. Okay. So, just like yesterday, let's see what this collective has been focusing on so we can really tie you to it, and then we'll get into May. So, source, what was this collective's April like? What are the main themes? Oh. One more. Oh. So you've got 5 of Cups sort of horizontally, 8 of Wands in reverse, Knight of Pentacles, and then 2 of Swords. Right off the bat, I don't think there was a lot of movement in your energy, and you were seeing that as a loss. So I think it's more emotionally than anything because it's 5 of Cups, and Cups rules our emotion. But, and I'm not saying this to upset you, the traditional picture, which this is these, he's focusing on these 3 that have spilled and not paying attention to the 2 in the background that are full. So it's kind of the energy of spilled milk. And I'm not saying that because the way you feel and your emotions are not valid, but I think you would know that you have a tendency to sometimes focus on the negative and not see silver linings. Sometimes that's not appropriate for the situation. I am the first one to recognize that not always a joke is needed because that's kind of my go-to. So I get it. But with 8 of Wands in reverse, that is a situation or an experience or a feeling that needs alignment because it's out of balance. It's things that are stuck and stalled, a lack of communication and a lack of clarity. But again, more so than anything, the former thing I mentioned. Especially because you've got Knight of Coins here. It was a month of you really focusing on things that you've been dedicating time and energy to, that long night's journey. He's the slowest moving. And he gets kind of lost on his way because it takes him years to get there. But in getting lost and taking that much time, he actually learns the lessons that this Knight specifically needs to learn along that journey, which is persistence, loyalty, being grounded to your goals, being conservative in your approach, not ideologically, but energy wise, right? Restricting your energy to things that are actually going to last and not getting caught up in things that maybe, Knight of Swords or Knight of Wands would get caught up in. When he does get to his destination, which he always does in all the tales of tarot and exactly how I read it, he does get to where he's going. All the knights always do. But again, it takes him a very long time to get there, and he won't get there until he learns patience. I think you are not seeing that right now because 2 of Swords is kind of over the whole thing. It's not being able to drop those wands, to remove the blindfold, but knowing that you need to. Deep in your soul, you know that there are things that are in your environment and the way you are, again, feeling about things that have caused misalliances that require even more time and patience, but it's too emotionally triggering, draining, wearing, tasking to see that lesson all of the time. Oh, Tower. And it's sort of in reverse as I'm holding it, which that can sometimes be subverting disaster and like avoiding the actual tower falling. But I also sometimes see it as an internal tower, the same way I see death in reverse as internal transformation. So it's just, I think April was a really hard month for you because you came in and out of understanding, but either way, there was no progression in the things you wanted to see progression with, right? Um, One more on this Five of Cups. Oh, strength. So you really are trying to pick yourself up, and I'll give you that. Like, I want to recognize that for just a minute. For you to have strength over the thing that I called spilled milk, you are calling on all of your power and all of your persistence and all of your will, your self-assuredness to tame the lion that is impatience and doubt and fury and anger and sadness with seeing yourself and trusting in yourself and having courage. But it's hard because 8 and 8, a very karmic lesson, but which karma doesn't mean bad by default. I know people get that wrong all the time. It's just a lesson in and of itself. But it's hard to sit in strength energy because sometimes we are our only witnesses to strength. It wears on you. It wears on you. Sometimes we just want to be validated externally. If we're constantly validating ourselves internally, self-love cannot take the place of romantic, familial, platonic, or communal love. It just can't. We need all of them to survive as a whole and rounded person. You can kind of make do with most of those and not all of them, but just to solely rely on self 100% of the time is completely unrealistic. And I want to put that out there because it's coming to my mind. A lot of people are like, "Oh, just do things by yourself and just love yourself." Well, if you do, right? And you're constantly being met with things that are a misalliance. Sometimes not all the time. We'll get into it, but sometimes it's not because you don't love yourself that things are misaligned. A lot of the times we put ourselves in situations that we are not supposed to be in because we don't see ourselves. But for that to come to my mind, I think this collective has been trying really hard to get that one right. And I think that you genuinely are because strength came out upright. So it's just the little tweaks. I think you're just a little frustrated. Let's confirm it with your emotion though, and just see how this collective has been feeling. Kind of the overarching emotion for April. 2, please. One more. Detachment with panic. That's a really interesting combination because, and it's actually, whether you know it or not, I'm going to get one more to confirm it, but what I'm feeling with that is you actually could just be at the tail end of the sort of detachment process for a specific situation. Oh, one sec. Okay, sorry. It's getting busy out there. So as I was saying, when we get to the end of a really tough cycle of emotional awareness or a relationship, job situation, whatever it is, like some sort of cycle in our life, and we're starting to actually detach from outcome and expectation, um, our ego does this really shady, conniving thing that is a part of its adaptability, our shadow, our trauma, because it wants to keep us safe. So it's an element of our psyche that is incredibly good at maneuvering around our healing as we heal. But it starts to send out panic and distress and exhaust this closer to that detachment feeling that you get, because again, trying to protect itself. But it's sometimes a very clear indication to me that the energy I'm reading or the people that I'm reading are much closer than they realize. Especially, I'm hearing this, if you are very good at catching yourself when this comes over you and sort of having the knight's approach to it mentally, even if you cannot see the path forward, it would make sense why these two are here. I don't think you're panicking because you're not detached. I actually think you're much closer than you realize. Let's get one more. Oh, bullied. That's a really hard one. Uncomfortable. The why. One more for that. Enlightened. What was I saying? I knew it. I knew it. Because that didn't totally make sense to me. But if especially you are detaching from like a close relationship, and in that detachment you're just moving differently, like your energy is different, which is like literally what it means. And people are like, what's going on with you? Why are you behaving this way? Because they're used to old you, right? To their credit. Let's just remove the actual dynamic out of it. People are used to us in the way that we are most often. So when you go through a healing journey, it's sometimes hard um, to remember that as we change, other people are not changing in the exact same way, even if they're also on a healing journey. Oftentimes they're not, and that's even harder, but they're used to old us. And so when we start to move differently, they get worried and their shadow and their ego comes up and sees change and is like, wait, hold on, what are we doing? Sometimes in the worst case scenarios, those people can lash out because the change they're seeing in us means that we are removing ourselves from their lives. And they're allowed to have their emotions over that. But unfortunately, sometimes it can manifest as this because you are going through something like this, which is really powerful and important. So don't forget that. Other people's reactions to our behavior, unless we are doing something inherently wrong or immoral or painful or hurtful, are just their responsibility, right? Like I don't if you I thought you were hurting someone on intentionally, then I would say so, but this collective you're not. You're finding detachment through enlightenment. So you are this new perspective, it's coming from a better understanding. You are maturing, having realizations which are creating wake up calls, and it's making waves. The other people in your life who are a part of that swell need to have their own life raft. They can't rely on you, right? No matter what they say, what they do, if you and your soul are doing things that are bringing you closer to internal oneness, then that is what you need to focus on, right? So I have a feeling that whatever May will bring you, you could be much closer to what you want than you realize. So let's see um, what the theme of May will be for you. Oh, geez, one sec. Oh my God, I love this for you. This is going to be your theme for May. Believe in the impossible. It's going to make me emotional all of a sudden because I really think this collective, you don't realize how close you are to a type of stillness, which is not a permanent state of being. I have to say that, like enlightenment and detachment are not just like you are forever then just released from samsara and like you know what I mean. But it's a type of peace and stillness in the soul from the accomplishment of that understanding that lasts your whole life. Believe in that. I want to actually get you one more because again, this is gonna be your May theme. What a big month! Whoa, emotions will be running high, but confidence is your key to success. And look at how that lines up with what you've been falling back on in April to solidify your mind frame is the confidence, Leo energy, strength energy, but emotions are running high. Super moon energy. Love that. All right, let's get into it. So we're going to go week by week and just see as of right now where the energy is, which of course I always say whenever I do like future readings for anybody, energy can change. But as of right now, as you're watching this, this is where it stands, right? So, okay, week, sorry, one sec. So I want to do May. So week one for this beautiful collective. Oh, Page of Coins. So you've got Page of Coins and Emperor in reverse. I immediately felt like that is influence from the outside, right? But we're going to take it to you first. You are laying the foundation for your success. You are putting in all of that beautiful, beautiful, hard, grueling, monotonous, boring groundwork. You could be getting more into the study of magic, like the actual practice of alchemy. But being ambitious and being faithful to your dreams and your goals and what you really want, that's great. So the universe is recognizing that's already where you are. First week of May, which is what we're in. The excessive control is still, again, part of the shadow that we talked about in April. It's the inflexibility, the undisciplined energy that comes from the feeling of lack of control. So it's like that grasping energy that wants to be, in the rigid, familiar hell that we've been living in, to not venture out into the unfamiliar paradise. So that's what you're fighting internally. The way these two really do confirm as well everything we've said about what you've been going through. You've been breaking free from this with your diligent tutelage to your enlightenment. Now, if we take it externally, which is again how I saw it when it first came out, the inflexibility and the excessive control that's being that you are interpreting from the outside, which is making you feel bullied, is just that. It is just that. It is not an actual reflection of who you are or your path or what you believe or what you want for your life, which is clearly what you want is better. You want things to be better. You want to feel better. You don't want to feel like you are constantly relying on outcomes and other people for your happiness and your success, right? This domination that Emperor in Reverse embodies is very aggressive. So just keep yourself safe. I feel called to say that. You clearly have a handle on things, but let's get the universe's perspective for week 1. Oh my God, there's so much Leo energy in this. First card out, the Lion. Universe is confirming in every single way they can that the strength within you has the power of a lion's roar. Truly, like you are emanating out that energy in a really beautiful way. You are becoming very devoted to being heart-centered and courageous and majestic and have high self-esteem and inner strength from your confidence. That's beautiful. Oh my God, you just got the white feather. That very rarely, I came out last week, but before that I hadn't seen it in months. So you guys must all be like, anyways, I'm just going to think about that to myself because I'm so excited. I have like goosebumps. 17 and 7. 7s could be important. That could be your life path, but this is a card of miracles. It's a card of peace and purity and leaps of faith, but signs, synchronicities. Like I see it kind of like the Temperance card, which is like a sign of angels, of being surrounded by angels or source or create whoever you think is in the 5D, which is a very encouraging and free energy, but protection, like being literally surrounded by this energy of protection. I see it as like literal glitter. When those cards come out, like someone is literally surrounded by this aura of just cosmic glitter. You know what I mean? That is what the universe is saying. First week of May. I think this is going to start to really show itself to you in your world. Oh, the moon. So your intuition and your subconscious, your dream state, your psyche, the divine feminine energy. You're going to start, and I'm hearing signs specifically. I think this week you're going to start to see a lot of little tiny puzzle pieces be put into place. Like not just the numbers, not just the animals and the symbols and I think you're going to start to feel internally and see externally things just sort of click ever so subtly in the way that they're supposed to. And I think it's going to ignite this strength and this bold braveness within you, which is really beautiful, especially if you're feeling bullied, which I believe you clearly are because it came out in your emotions, by something energy like this. The universe is behind you 1000%. Couldn't be like truly divine child, cosmically protected. Love that. Okay, let's see. Oh my God. One sec. Oh my God, Bessie. So you saw how I just dropped like a giant pile? Well, they're like all over the place. Guess which card was closest to me and face up? The Strength. Like, you cannot make it up. Pure magic. Pure magic. Okay. God, I wish I could have taken my phone off the little stand to like show you that, but it's such a pain in the ass to put on that thing, so I just didn't want to. But that I saw that and was just like, oh! Okay, so week 2 for this collective. Okay, so week 2 looks like it's going to, I don't feel any movement or anything crazy. That's why I made a point to say that whatever signs and things that are piquing your intuition, they're going to be very subtle. right? Very, very, very subtle, but you're going to feel it internally very intensely because week 2, there's 9 of Swords and it sort of came out horizontally. That's a true emotional anguish. I don't see it as doom and gloom like a lot of, like tarot would traditionally tell you, or I know a lot of other readers read it as sort of like this, you know, crybaby or like drama queen sort of attitude. I actually have dedicated that card to be an actual indication that whoever I'm reading um, is suffering from some sort of prolonged anxiety, insomnia, mental health issues like depression and like chronic issues that require a lot more than self-talk and believing in yourself or manifestations. Like it's much more serious, right? So I just wanted to acknowledge that because it comes from unresolved issues and deeply held guilt or shame or fear, and it can also be from past life trauma and trauma in this life. So I don't believe it's just all in your head, even though that's like where you're one of the most important like organ. One of them is like just your meat computer, like that's in your head. You know what I mean? Anyways, sorry. Um, Maybe I'm saying this because you hate when people are like, "Oh, it's just in your head," and you're like, "That doesn't make any sense. My brain is in my head." You know what I mean? Like, but for it to be this sort of horizontally, I think there's emotional baggage that's carrying itself into your week 2. Again, there's not a lot of action here yet. Whatever this excessive control, this Emperor in reverse energy is, it's an unhealthy attachment. It's a negative karmic influence. Devil in reverse. This card can be a card of literal abuse, emotional and physical. So that's why I'm saying with 9 of Swords right next to it, I actually just want to take a minute and say that this seems very serious. And I don't think you should be writing it off. If it's not, it's not. But just like as a word of caution, you will know. Don't try to minimize this energy. It's coming out as very seriously negative and toxic, harmful, abusive, right? I was feeling initially like this Emperor in reverse was a father figure or some sort of male, masculine energy relative. Doesn't have to be male identifying, but just sits more in masculine energy. But if it's not and it's a love interest, just understand that this is a negative connection. That week 2, as you start to soar, this person feels like they're trying to control you and keep you where you are. And you would know if this is true. And again, I'm not trying to strike fear into the heart of anybody. If this is not what's going on in your life, then don't try to make this fit and start to like I'm not prophesizing someone is negative. If you have someone negative in your life, then this is your reading. You'll know this. I'm just confirming what's going on for you. But I don't think that you have totally yet come to the realization that whoever this person is and whatever the situation is that you're in needs to be removed much quicker than maybe what you were wanting to have as a timeline, right? I don't know if you're waiting for other people to change. I don't know if you're stuck in the situation because of financial constraints or whatever it is. Just a word of caution. It is not just a little bad and uncomfortable. It is toxic and it is unhealthy and it is abusive. So just like you are soaring, this person has now come out that way, right? I'm not trying to, yeah. Anyways, this collective will know exactly what I'm saying. Please be careful. So what does the universe say about week 2? Okay, so I think this is genuinely more advice than just a confirmation of the energy. They're saying you need to find your independence and stand on your own. You need to have confidence in your inner knowing and trust your guidance system. Believe in your power. Be instinctual. Find your freedom. Have resilience and stamina. Not to stay in this, but to stand on your own. If you're in this situation because you don't believe in your soul that you can be outside of this and be okay, there's a reason why the energy around you universally is instilling confidence, the strength of a lion in you every single chance they get. It's not to persevere, it's to stand alone, right? It's to believe in yourself, love yourself enough to not accept whatever this is, right? Because next to it, you've got this card, which is about destiny and it's about spirituality, but it's about sorrow and guidance from the divine. It's about trials and tribulations and emotional losses that are necessity to create, or a necessity to create your conviction. It's a crisis of fate and a crisis of duty in order to strengthen your resolve internally, right? Believing in yourself, believing in what you see and what you believe. Like, take spirituality out of it, believing that you deserve better, believing that you have the heart center of a lion and being proud of it and being instinctual like this white wolf and having confidence and walking away from people who bully you and try to control you, right? It's going to create, if you can really see that, a lot of emotional release, but that emotional release is not a bad thing. It's letting things go and finding your own fulfillment, tears of joy from that release. So I think, again, I don't think anything changes. And I think that actually is the thing that triggers whatever this is in week 2, is just constantly seeing how the energy around you is supporting you and what you want best, and everything else is trying to hold you down. That was a sign. Because that was a delivery, but I specifically have a sign on my door that says, do not knock for deliveries. And it never happens since I put that up. And that's a sign. The universe is knocking at your door with all this supportive energy around you for you to walk away and see yourself from whatever this is. And I really do hesitate oftentimes from telling people, like, in a very black and white sort of way, to walk away from the things that they're experiencing, especially in like a collective reading. But like, I feel very strongly that whatever this is not something that you could safely sit in emotionally, if not worse, right? So just food for thought. If this is your reading, you will agree. I'm reading your energy, right? It's not my opinion. It's just what the cards say. Okay, so week 3 for this collective. One more. Okay, so, and this is masculine energy, right? And as soon as this came out, I immediately heard it's not your higher self that I was hearing. It was actually your shadow saying, but they're a provider. They're the ultimate provider. They're rock solid. They've been with me forever. And then as soon as I heard that and started to get that feeling like, we're going to have to show collective that that's not true, King of Swords came out to confirm what I was already feeling. I was going to need to tell you. It doesn't matter how long someone has been by your side if they're abusive. It doesn't matter how long someone has. Oh, sorry, this hair's like literally in my face. It's gonna drive me nuts. One second. Okay, it doesn't matter how long someone has been in your life or how much financial support they've given you or what they say they do for you or whatever. It matters how they treat you. And there's no amount of money in the world or amount of time that you could live that would make excessive, inflexible, undisciplined, negative, emotionally abusive or physically abusive behavior okay. Full stop. I will die on that hill. I don't care how good someone has been in the past or how good they are sometimes. If there is any amount of them that is abusive in any way, it does not make up for it. The balances do not equal out. Do you get what I'm saying? And I understand that this is a very statistically common way to see abusive relationships, is to try to square the circle of who someone is all of the time. But you can't do that if you want to survive in a healthy, well-rounded, in a place, like put together place emotionally and otherwise. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I think your higher self thinks that this is bullshit, but I feel that your ego wants to push back on the point that this person is rock solid, or you guys have been together forever, or it's a family member who's constantly supporting you financially, and maybe they were great in the past, but they're showing up all energetically. As King of Swords in reverse, he's the most nasty son of a bitch in the entire tarot world. He is cold and calculating and abruptive and ruthless. He is ruthless. He is so controlling. It makes him unpredictable and a loose cannon. Dangerous. He's dangerous. I see him as an actual tyrant. There's so much negative masculine energy. You have to see it correctly. I'm begging you. You feel bullied. You are so close to some sort of emotional enlightenment. Let this be the month you walk away from this bullshit forever. And I'll tell you this, if this person is meant to be in your life, you walking away will be a catalyst for change for them. If they love you in the way that I believe you feel they probably do, then they will change. They will do the internal work, they will do the self-reflection, they will do the hard things that you've already been doing to get to a place where you're feeling enlightened. They may not start that the second you do, like the second you cut ties, they may not, but in the long run, who is meant to stand by your side will always be there. Time is not a deterrent. Love makes you change into the person you're supposed to be. So just keep that in your mind. I know it's hard to imagine that someone might not change for you, but that will be a realization you will have to grieve, unfortunately, if it ends up being true. Right now, you need to focus on what's actually happening, not what has happened in the past or what you want to happen in the future, right? I'm saying, I know I'm speaking very bluntly, but I just think you need to hear it this way. And it's coming from a place of love and care, honestly. So week 3, this dichotomy between who you want this person to be and who they actually are is going to be, boom, right in front of your face. You're not going to be able to ignore it. Okay? Just remember that. All right, so universe week 3. No wonder they're giving you the strength of a lion. It's starting to make a lot more sense. I mean, it would be great. It would be great just to have that energy anyways, but they are trying to put the entire force of the universe behind you to help you out of this, to help you have more, right? They're trying to ground you. You've got the tree, the mountains, and the clover. But look how these two, and then this one on the other end, there is a giant obstacle to this. Whatever you've been sitting in for a long time, whatever you think is grounded with this King of Coins, who's actually showing up as a King of Swords in reverse. It is blocked, cold, indifferent, unbending, unyielding. It is a barrier and a delay to your healing. It is a barrier and a delay to your luck in life, to your good fortune, to being carefree. It's going to be very obvious this month. You're not going to be able to ignore it. So just, again, keep that at the forefront of your mind. This card also says lineage on it. It does, I'm going to say it again. It does not matter who someone is to you when it comes to blood relation or the time they've spent with you if they treat you like fucking garbage. It's actually less of an excuse if someone has been in your life for years and years and years, or if they're your relative, right? Less of an excuse for them to treat you like shit. So just remember that. Week 4 for this collective. One more. Good. So I think all of this is, and again, you would know all of this to be true. The universe is putting it right in the front of your face so you cannot fucking ignore it. Because Page of Cups, week 4 is going to feel like a little bit of broken dreams. And I'm not saying it isn't, but grieve it. Like, come to terms with it. Have the enlightenment in the soul to accept all realities and not just sit in the love and light. I know it's like so pervasive in media, but it's so toxic to think that enlightenment is just being happy and full and harmonious all the time. You know what I'm seeing? And I saw it the other day and it made me laugh so hard. It was the spirituality starter. It was like a little meme and it was like spirituality starter pack. And it was like the crystals and the tarot cards and blah, 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 like all these mystical items. And then the picture right next to it said, spirituality master level, and it was just a guy holding a cigarette and a cup of coffee. That's exactly what it is. I know I read tarot for like as part of one of my jobs, but truly, as someone who's been in the mystical arena of things for decades, that is 100% true. It's not all going to be the magic of the universe surrounded by you in this, whimsical whatever bullshit all the time. It's oftentimes incredibly fucking painful to have these realizations and in your soul not harbor all the bullshit. It's it's going to bring up your inner child wounds so that you can heal it. So you don't have to do this in the next lifetime. It's clearly a generational and also soul lesson that you've not totally completed out in other lifetimes as well. And I think I mentioned something about that at the very beginning of the reading. But the manipulation and the obsession, it's creating more than just creative blocks, but it is blocking your third eye. Cups is our emotional wealth and our psychic mind, our spiritual mind. It's blocking so many things. It's going to be very obvious week 4. And thank God you have 10 of Wands in reverse here. So laying your burdens down, realizing this reduction in your life force, getting your priorities straight, delegating, and just truly realizing you don't want to carry these wands anymore. Oh, what keeps happening? Like, I am a Butterfingers, but it is never this bad. So that's going to be your energy too. You must be very clumsy. I'm clumsy too. So just like, no judgment, but like, truly, what is going on? I'm going to be honest, I don't think you could stay in this for much longer. I think it would truly start to, which is good. Like, I want you to get out of it one way or another. And you're not doing anything wrong for not having done it sooner. I need to make that clear. But by the end of May, you're at your limit. Good. I just want one more for that 10 of Wands. Good. So reaching out to friends. This is 3 of coins upright. Reaching out to people who are active listeners, finding collaboration and synergy with people who can actually help you. So it's like I'm hearing like literally ask for help throughout all of this. I think by the end of week 3, maybe even middle of week 3, you start to realize I can't just walk away on my own, or I need help. And I think you're going to reach out, and I think you should get it, right? You can't always do things just solely on your own. The decision to do these things is yours alone, but then asking for help from people you trust is a good move here. I agree with it. Teamwork makes the dream work. And remember, your theme for May is believe in the impossible. Emotions will be running high, but confidence is key to your success. So by the end of May, you do your homework, you learn your lessons. Let's really confirm it with, death in reverse at the bottom, the internal clear and purge. Good. Love that. All right, end of May for this collective. Oh, golden ticket. I love it. Good job. Yes. I love this for you. A big break, a huge turning point. That's really what it is. Success, something magical, something special, an extraordinary event, a major opportunity, and then your luck starts to roll in. Oh, I love that. One more. Yeah, you start going. There is movement, there is travel, there is news, there is a delivery, there is a green light ahead, there is progress. You hit acceleration on this journey. It takes you could shift the energy right now. I'm not saying that you have to wait till May, right? Because like I said it a minute ago, or I said it before we got into May, is that this is how the energy is now, which it can change. You could see this coming if this is really your reading, and you could just hit acceleration on this goal and like literally speed up your timeline, get out of Knight of Coins and into Knight of Cups, start that healing journey from your emotional place. But either way, full speed ahead. Look at the transition and energy. That is so incredibly magical. I'm so proud of you. Okay, let's get... They're just literally not wanting to be on the table today. Normally that would drive me nuts, but I think it's your energy because you're a little bit of a fellow Butterfinger. Anyways, like I was seeing someone bump into something. You could do that. I do that all the time where like I'll turn a corner and like bump into the wall, and it's like a corner I've turned every day, multiple times a day for the past 10 years, you know? Okay, good. Let's just get, I was going to get you a karmic card, but I think we've gone over all the hard stuff. So I just want to see how Source is seeing your animal energy very quickly. The oyster, that makes so much sense. And then a message about it. Serenity. Oh, beautiful. One sec. So you could live near the beach. If you do, go hang out by the beach, go sit in the waves, go find a beautiful oyster shell if you really want to. But it says patient, secret keeper, hiding inner treasures. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they can achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires in life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. So that's how sort of seeing your energy right now. But it's perfect. It perfectly confirms everything we've talked about. But on top of that, we didn't even get into life path because they want you to get out of whatever you're in now so that you can really start to see yourself. If you can go through what you've been going through, walk away and get yourself in a position where you can start finally shining whatever you bring to the table, so to speak, which our value is not inherently rooted in what we offer. It's just we have value. I just need to say that. Like, we have value intrinsically just because we're alive and a part of the experience that we're all experiencing. But whatever your gift is for the world, which we all have some sort of unique gift, the world is waiting to see it. The whole, whatever it is, and you know what it is. We're not going to tap into it right now, but it is a true part of your life path. And I think you can feel it bubbling in your soul as well, to not waste any more time around people who bully you and do all the bullshit that we've talked about, because you're better than that, right? So, and then serenity perfectly aligns with everything too. The most important relationship you can have is with yourself. Truly. This is a time to honor, nurture, and love yourself more by seeking out and removing any negative feelings and emotions that are left over from yesterday. And I'm also going to say people, because literally, that's what this whole thing has been about. Don't let the past issues and resentments interfere with your serenity today. And I know I went on a little tangent about how self-love cannot replace romantic and familial and communal and platonic. But again, there is something here about you not totally seeing yourself, and you have the energy of the universe behind you to remind you. So good luck.